Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest in-depth newsletter teaser video with me, Nico Lurot, one of the GUE content creators, and I'm joined to my left, as you can see, by the rock star, the legend, Michael Menduno.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Hey,
Good
Nico.
to see you, Michael. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, doing good. I got some questions for you, too.
Naturally. Fire away.
All right. So, question one: when was hydrogen first used as a breathing gas, and why?
The why I don't have the exact year. I don't have this. I think it goes back to 18th century.
Okay. Well, I think oxygen was discovered in the 18th century. Oxygen was discovered in the 18th century, but all right, we'll stay that. All right. Second question: why would divers want to dive hydrogen?
Go deeper.
Go deeper. Go deep, young man. Yeah, young woman. All right. Third question. We'll come back to this. This is a good answer. It's in the belt. We can be more specific, but yes, that's the right answer. How many tech dives have been done breathing hydrogen?
Okay. I don't know.
All right.
Come on. 5, 10, 50, 100?
Well, we'll get to that question. All right, good. So we have the new issue coming out this Thursday. Very excited. So story one, we'll get to that, the questions, but we have a great piece on a low-cost, do-it-yourself rebreather testing. Currently, to have your rebreather tested, how long is my scrubber going to last? To do that test are generally about $3,000 a day, and it can take 3 to 4 days per unit to do the test, for example, scrubber duration. So what that means, what happens is that, it's very expensive, so manufacturers do the minimum amount of testing usually, and we don't really get much data as users, right? We just say your scrubber is good for X hours. That's it. This piece is by Chauncey Chapman. He was the chief technology officer at Hollis and American Underwater Products, Hollis, Oceanic, etc. And he has built a unit he calls the Surface Normalized One Atmosphere Rebreather Tester, or SNORT. It's a machine that one can build for maybe $3,000, $3,000 to $5,000, and do your own rebreather testing at 1 atmosphere. It's a quite interesting article, and for the very geeky people and some smaller manufacturers, this may be a very interesting option to be able to do what ifs. What if we changed the canister this way? What if we did that? What if we insulated it? And then look at the results. So,
what if we didn't spend $3,000 a day on our scrubber?
Next, what does it cost to become a working cave photographer? We've teamed up with We've teamed up with our friend Fan Ping. Ping has done this great story looking at what he has spent on training, dive equipment, and camera equipment to become a professional cave photographer. And he's certainly, you'll have to agree with me, he's one of the stars in this field. So
he's good. He's very, very good.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting him in High Springs. He's very talented.
Great guy. Yeah. Rebreather diver, scooter diver, etc., and cameraman extraordinaire. So it's a pretty interesting article. Let me just say he has spent, what's that saying? How do you make a small fortune in diving?
You spend it.
Yeah, right.
Above or below 30K?
Oh, 30K is not even. I think Ping actually spent 30K in training. He's got a list. It lists every class he's taken, every piece of dive gear, and every camera. Some of the cameras too are quite. What was the one? The red helium 8K with Gates housing. 60 grand.
Now, where did Mr. Fan Ping get his money from?
You started with a big fortune. I was got a little one. Next, we team up with shipwreck photographer Jeff Lindsay, go to the Great Lakes, a new, fairly recently discovered wreck. I mean, within the last 5 years, a bulk freighter called the SS Ohio.
Nice.
And right now, it sits perfectly intact, almost upright at about 92 meters of water, 300 feet in Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. And Jeff has just done a magnificent job of shooting this wreck and talking about, the dive. They went down and what they did, and quite extraordinary. So I think people will enjoy that. And then we have a second shipwreck story, finessing the Grand Dame of the Abyss. This is our young Italian poet turned scuba explorer, Andrea Murdoch Alpini. And, he's been writing about the Doria for years. We had a piece that he did last year with Stefano Carletti, an interview and a profile, who was the first guy to film the Andrea Doria. So this was Andrea's time to actually go there. So it's a really fun sort of personal, poetic piece. So I think people enjoy that. And then on the human factor side, Guy Shockey, instructor evaluator Guy Shockey, has done a great piece called "Why It's Okay to Make Mistakes." Right, to err is human, to trimix is divine, but we all make mistakes. And so Guy argues that this is an important part of human life, right? Learning from our mistakes. And even more important, and particularly if we're in leadership roles, to share our mistakes and admit to them and share, so that we can all grow as a culture and improve our safety and performance.
Who was it? A.A. Milne, the author of Winnie the Pooh, has a great saying about this. Good judgment comes from experience, and experience that comes from bad judgment.
That's a good one, right? Right? Yeah, exactly. So
we have to. Why do we fall down? So we can learn to get back up. We have to learn.
Yeah, and then the point is, we need to design systems so that when we do make mistakes, which we are inevitably going to do because we're human, we don't die for it, right? You have enough backup and systems, so you make a mistake, but you don't die. You just go, I made a mistake, and
ideally we don't die. Yes, that's always a bonus.
Fail safely, as Gareth Lockhart. Fail safely. Now we get to our questions. So you ready?
Hit me. When did hydrogen first start being used as a breathing gas?
It was first used by a guy named Arne Zetterstrom, a 20-year-old. He was 26 years old. His father happened to be the head of the submarine division for the Swedish Navy. They brought him on. And at the time, helium had been discovered and operationalized by the U.S. Navy, of course, for deep diving in the 30s. But at that time, the only helium supplies were the U.S. We had a monopoly on it in the U.S., and because of coming war and everything, they had export restrictions, so it couldn't be exported. So for anyone else wanting to do deep diving, they had to find an alternative. So Arne thought of either hydrogen or methane. He presciently decided to go with hydrogen. Both are explosive in the presence of oxygen. He started this right in the early 1940s.
Oh, I was way off.
Yeah, 1940s. And then from there, it grew. Why hydrogen? Why might you want hydrogen for deep diving? Because it's way lighter than helium, number one. So that's important. And at the time, it's lighter than helium, and it also is less narcotic than nitrogen, but has a little narcotic effect, which is important for deep diving because of high pressure nervous syndrome. More on this in the issue.
I would like to go on record here and say that I'm pretty sure that Antoine Lavoisier started experimenting with breathing hydrogen in the 18th century, but I think it was only as a sojourn. I don't believe it was in practical use.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Right. I mean, they might have breathed it at the surface, but we're talking about underwater breathing as a diving gas. So, and why hydrogen again? Light, so you can reduce gas density. It's got some narcotic properties, which turns out important for ameliorating HPNS, and it's abundant and plentiful and relatively cheap. Compared to helium, which is going up and up and up, and is going to continue to go up, and is a scarce.
Yeah, I've been wondering, like, how you trimix divers surviving at the moment.
Right, they're moving to rebreathers because they can't afford to do open circuit tech dive. So, as you probably know, Richard Harris, Dr. Harry, and the Wet Mules just made an historic 230-meter dive on hydrogen on using dual rebreathers. One trimix rebreather and one hydrogen trimix rebreather, switching back and forth, 13.5-hour dive. So this was really news, but they were not the first tech divers to try hydrogen. There's a group in Sweden. I happen to know one of the people, Aki Larsson, who's a dive engineer, and a woman named, let me find this, where is she? Ola Lind. She is the group leader. And so there's a group of 7 tech divers, and they decided to redo Arne Zetterstrom's initial dives with hydrogen. So they made 7 dives, 1 dive each, to 42 meters on hydrogen. One of the issues with hydrogen is you can't have, if you have more than 4% of oxygen in your mix, then it's explosive. So it's,
okay.
Fail
open safely.
Fail safely. What could go wrong with an explosive breathing mix? Open circuit's one thing, and then on the rebreather with lithium batteries, etc. So
I'm sure it's fine.
Anyway, but this group went and did 7 successful hydrogen dives. They were kind of astounded by it, really could feel the difference in breathing, etc. So this month, because the Wet Mules did this historic dive, they're going to be talking about it at RF4 and doing a paper about it. So we thought we'd pull out all our hydrogen stories and put them in a package for people to look at this month, to bone up, so that when they hear Harry's report of how they did this incredible thing, they'll have some background for it. So that's the plan for this issue. Yeah.
I think that's very, very insightful. I like all of that. This has been cool. I've been very, very happy to hear the new musings of InDepth. Where can people find this, Michael, and when is it available?
Yes, they can go to, it's going to be available this Thursday, which I think is February 2nd, right?
March 2nd.
Pardon? March 2nd. Sorry, wrong month. March 2nd. You can find it at indepth.blog or GUE.com/blog. And we'll be there. And if you subscribe, which is free, we'll push you an email every week with the new stories. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah.
Love that. And as always, guys, from me, if you are new to the channel, please do like the video, share the video with anyone who you think may be interested. These videos are released monthly between myself and Michael. We're very busy with Rebreather Forum 4 around the corner, but do be on the lookout, most likely after that's happened, for more content from Michael and I, which is going to be on top of these regular videos. I think that's probably best, isn't it, Michael? Just let Rebreather Forum 4 get out the way, and then we'll get on to our new topic and our new content. So stay tuned to GUE, stay tuned to our YouTube channel, because there will be more from me and Michael in the coming months and in the coming weeks. But until then, guys, thank you very much. There should be another video down below us somewhere and a subscribe button over to the side. So check those out. Helps YouTube like us with the algorithm, and we will see you very soon.
Ciao for now.